tonight. Last couple nights I've worked late, so I haven't really gotten a chance to do anything when I got home, especially edit and upload my next one of these. So hopefully this evening I will get the next one uploaded, scheduled, and then possibly this one scheduled for as well. So get the editing all done and whatnot. Yeah, I really didn't know. Once again, I didn't really have a plan other than just start recording and go. What I wanted to talk about. So, thinking about doing another video. Might as well go ahead and just pop it out here and see. That way all my thoughts are recorded, I guess. So I did a video a couple weeks ago, about how I was triggered, I guess. I don't know. I hate using that word, but I mean, yeah, it definitely rubbed me some kind of way when somebody said, "Oh, it's just not made for you." Let me tell you something. Products that aren't made for me are clearly labeled not for me. You know what I mean? Like, they don't, like, there's a lot of things that aren't made for me. A lot of things that aren't, directed at me, but can still be. Okay, let me rewind this. When I say it wasn't made for you, I'm talking about a video game. Video game named Dustborn, released a few weeks ago to a staggering 70-something players or whatever. Like, its all-time peak was like 78 players or something like that. And I would guess they were all streamers trying to play this garbage game to their audience. That's what I would assume. Maybe a couple of developers or whatever maybe played their own game. And even then, like, I think most of the developers played their own. They knew it was garbage. But they'll tout it whichever way anyway. So, like I said, well, because I was making fun of it. Because it's funny. It's funny that these people tried to inject some kind of inclusivity ideology message into a game that no one wanted to see. Because we've been beat down with it so many times recently, and everybody's tired of it. Everybody is tired of it. The entire population of the gaming sphere. Because I don't give a shit. The person that told me it wasn't made for me, they weren't jumping on the bandwagon to play it either, because they didn't want to play it, didn't find it interesting. Go fucking figure, because it didn't make an interesting game. And that's what I was trying to get at. It's people that inject this diverse ideology, message, whatever you want to call it. They can't make an interesting game because they don't know how to be interesting. They don't have any life experience. The only thing they have is probably college, where all of this shit was beaten into their heads. That they were racist if they didn't include all of these things that were supposed to be included or whatever. That is, I mean, I can't cite sources, but I can give a pretty good guesstimate of exactly what college classes they took. Like I said, I did a whole video about the game saying, it's just not for you. It just wasn't made for you. Yep, that is definitely true. It was not made for me. It's not made for anyone. So, like I said, once again, I'm triggered on it, or whatever. Triggered is such a fucking... It's retarded, okay? It's dumb. And we're getting this more and more, because I tell you something that they don't teach these kids in college. maybe should be like, maybe you should learn it in high school, elementary school. Manners for one. But if you're taking a course in college, and I think this should be mandatory, and I think if any college is producing one of these shithead kids, then companies should absolutely sue them for sending them inferior products. False advertisement of sending out a learned individual by giving them a diploma for this shit, because it's garbage, okay? If you're going to college to become some kind of artsy game designer or whatever you want to be in this tech world that we live in now, or you want to work in tech or whatever, you want to do these things, and you go to college and you get your, I don't know, gender studies degree, blah, 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 artist, whatever it is, I don't know. If you go and get those things, I think a business course or how to interact with a business should be mandatory, because, you know, it's all fine and dandy when you have your opinion or whatever, but then you post it online and then potentially millions of people see it. Well, then you've definitely hurt your company that you work for, that's paying your salary, that's allowing you to do your possibly dream job or whatever. Like, you know, where you are. Because I don't think you got hired on merit. I really don't. That's in a previous video. I really don't think you got hired on merit. You probably got hired on your gender or whatever ideology, to check off a checkbox to make sure that they can say that their game is diverse enough or whatever the hell it is. So yeah, you should know how a business works. You should know if you're trying to sell a product, because that's what you're doing. You're making a product to try to sell it. I know, it's shocking. You're not making a product to masturbate yourself to it. That's not what you're doing. You're not making a product to show off all your other little followers or whatever you got. That's not what you're making. You're making a product to sell, so a business can make money. A business can pay you. And there's been some of this stuff where I don't know where the money's coming from. I really don't. They've cranked out so much money on some of these games that have not done well. 2024 has lost a lot of money. A lot of money has mysteriously, I don't know, gotten laundered through these things, I guess, because when you spend upwards of $120 million on a terrible idea, and maybe that's just it. Maybe they can't say no to these jackass kids. That must be it. They just can't say no to them, because then they'll cry about it. Then that'll hurt their business if these kids are crying because they wouldn't let them put their diversity ideals front and center. It's a double-edged sword. To be honest with you, if I was a company right now and I had this stuff, okay, if you get hired on with me, you are not allowed to post anything on your personal social media about the project you work on. Period. Immediate termination if anything comes to light. Immediate. I mean, that's a stipulation. You know, there's certain things like, so I'm a truck driver, right? The state that I live in has medical marijuana legalized. Medical marijuana. Other states, recreational marijuana. Colorado, states like that. Here's the thing. In order for me to keep my CDL, I can't partake in any of that. And most companies, most trucking companies, I would say almost 100%, because I know it's part of the DOT physical and stuff like that. And in most companies, when you're driving and operating a motor vehicle, they make you pass a drug test to be able to operate said motor vehicle. And it's almost a zero tolerance policy on everybody that operates a vehicle, because if something happens to you while you're under the influence, accident, and then they test your blood, however, and you have that trace chemicals in your body, then God forbid somebody gets hurt or worse in said accident, well, that puts the company on the hook. More so, you're already on the hook. As a commercial driver, you're on the hook all the time, period. But if they found drugs in the same person's system, you're really on the hook there. So, while I say this, and while the point was, if doing these things endangers the company in a way that they can be sued, then they make a zero tolerance policy on use of potentially recreational drugs, depending on what state. Right? So I say this again: if you are a gaming company that wants to sell a game, let me go even higher, because a lot of times these board CEOs and stuff, they deviate on how much money these things get, and publishers and producers and stuff, they go and they hack to see how much money they can get for said project. So you take your project, you lay it out, say I'm going to make a game, it's this or that. They lay it out, they take it to a board. Some professional person, not you, devs. It's not you. Okay. Some of you maybe still, but most of the people that I'm bitching about are not going to understand this. They take it to a board member and say, we've got this great game, I think it's going to cost like, we'll just keep it a round number, $100 million to make it. And the board goes, well, I don't know if we can give you $100 million, maybe we can give you $80 million. Well, then they do. Say, well, there's a haggling process on how much money they can get out of these investors to make your game. And when I say investors, even if you're a publisher, or even if you're a big publisher, Ubisoft, EA's, Activision's, Microsoft's, or whatever, the studio team, somebody on that studio team has to go talk to these publishers and figure out how much money they can get and try to sell it to their publishers so that the publisher can sell it to their investors or whatever. Anyway, it's all about sales. They project sales. If it's a good idea or whatever, they can project, if you give us this much money, it's going to make this much money back or whatever. Because they have to get a return on their investment, because they're not giving away money because they feel like they're trying to earn more money with your product that's creative. That is based solely on if the customer wants it. So when you're creating a product that is a entertainment product that is not a necessity at all, so leaving the choice of the person buying it 100% up to them. So when you go out and you push an ideology, or you argue with the fan base, and then you say, well, it wasn't made for you. Well, anybody that was already on the fence about this product, game, movie, whatever, anybody that was on the fence about it was saying, I don't know, these graphics look a little weird, some of these ideas kind of out there, but I've played these games before, they're okay. And then you get some jackass on their social media going, if you don't like what we're trying to put, the message we're trying to push, then don't play our game. Then immediately, 10-4, I won't be buying that one. Because if you say it's not made for me, it's not made for me, sweetheart. So, like I said, you get hired onto a publishing company or whatever. And the sad part about it is, a lot of these are their social media directors, their community managers, or whatever you want to call these jackasses that are hired in a position to talk to the community, to talk to the public, to try to sell the community on their product. And then they tell them not to buy their product. Get fucked. Get fucked. Get all the way fucked. You reap what you sow. Dustborn was a preachy friggin' mess. I watched the trailers. I read the synopsis. I wasn't gonna play that garbage. It wasn't. Nobody did. Nobody did. And turns out that game was also funded by grants through governments. United States government, I think. I don't know. I haven't seen the full receipts, but it's a hearsay or whatever. I know the Swedish government, they got a grant from them. Norway, whichever. 2 weeks ago, I forgot. But I'm still aggravated. Like I said, when you say it's not for you, okay. So let's do a recap of games that managers or people on social media that said it's not for you, and it tanked it. Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, a Rocksteady game. Rocksteady, who made the Batman Arkham series, the most fantastic superhero game series possibly ever. Put out this garbage co-op beat 'em up game where you play as the anti-heroes, villains, going against a potentially corrupted Justice League or whatever, to kill them to save the world. Because that's what people want to do. They want to play as the villains. And weirdly enough, the way that most things are written these days, they're making it as the villains are the good guys and the good guys are the bad guys, because that's how society should work, and they really believe that. They really believe this bullshit that they're trying to write, and it's bullshit. Anyway, so, yeah, nobody wanted to play it. It looked kind of like a shitty mess, honestly. Like, graphically, it didn't look that good. And it did not do well. And it's still not doing well as far as I'm concerned. I think at one point in time, yeah, I'm pretty sure they said, well, you know, it's not for you. I don't know. I'd have to quote that one, but I'm pretty sure they said it. Helldivers 2. Massive game at launch. Loved the game. Played it several hours. Absolutely adored it. Had its hiccups. One of the first hiccups being Sony trying to force their PlayStation account crap onto a game that was already on PC. It rubbed people the wrong way. It's fine. It didn't bother me any. Then their community manager started going on a tangent about something, pride, LGBT, something. They started banning members, and then started saying they would ban members if they brought it up, or they started doing, I don't know, they got a complete power trip, which also hurt the community, and then the game kind of whittled down to nothing. The meme died. I think there's a little bit of a resurgence, but you definitely put a take on it. Like, I think it was 800,000 concurrent players or some crap like that this year. Whenever the game first dropped, or maybe, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a multiplayer game. It was a double A title. It wasn't even like a triple A studio title or whatever. So, yeah, Helldivers, it took a big hit. Actor playing Doctor Who said, well, you know, if you think this way, you should watch Doctor Who. And nobody watched it. I don't know, man. You take things that people enjoy for nostalgia reasons, and you try to change them in such a violent way. I say violent because it's pretty abrasive when they try to change these things. They try to push this message that, let me be honest with you, clearly no one wants to see. Because if they did, their numbers would be much higher. But they're not. No one wants to see this. And I don't know what metrics they're listening to keep producing this shit. Thinking that those people do actually want to see these things. Because they don't. Because they don't turn up. Any of them. But that's what happens when you try to pander to a minute percentage of the population and their allies or whatever. And I've said before, I don't care what you do. It's free. To me, it's free. You're free to do whatever you want. I don't care. When you force something on me that I don't really want to see, and then I get upset about it because, I don't really like that. I think that's kind of dumb in a game. You know what I mean? Like, just make a good game. And then they come at you, well, if you don't like it, then it's just not me. Okay. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. Concord was another one. They try to push this message, then they try to say it's not made for you, and then it's clearly not made for you, and then they lose their asses. So back to the accountability thing, where I said, if you work for a studio, you're hired on a studio, I think part of your contract would be to not post about your job. Period. Zero opinions on it. Doesn't matter. You're free to speak about anything else you want. Anything. But if you say something about the product that you're working on and you tell your customer base that they shouldn't buy it, you try to dissuade them from buying your game, to try to keep your inclusivity, whatever, terminated. Terminated with repercussions. I don't know. It should definitely be a clause. And I think it is a clause in a lot of things, but that should definitely be the clause. And if your community manager does it, and this is where I say that, like, there should be some kind of because a lot of times your community manager is overseen by, like, the games producer or whatever, like, not the actual studio heads or nothing, like, the people at the very top, the CEOs writing the checks and stuff like that, they don't know about half the crap that goes on the ground floor, you know what I mean? Like, there's a chief person in charge, and they may defend that person. I think there should be a quality assurance person that's above them and goes through, like, you hurt our sales by opening your mouth. Fired. Period. That seems like that would make a lot of difference. But then again, maybe I would be spending more money on dumb projects. I mean, I wasn't going to spend money on these dumb projects. Let's be honest. I wouldn't do that shit anyway. I could just see it from the trailers. But it sure is nice when they say it's not made for you, and I go, bet. Everybody else does too. I find it very funny. We'll see if the tides change. I don't know, man. There's a way to write. There's a way to create games to be inclusive and all these things like that. That's not fucking pandering and holier than thou and try to force your ideology and beat it into your head or whatever. There's a way to do that. It's been done for years. I had this argument on my podcast about it. It's been done. People have been writing for a long time, creating art, creating stories. Mediums changed and become more accessible to a lot of people or whatever. There's a good way to do it and there's a bad way to do it, and they're only doing the bad way. I don't understand it. Really don't get it. They punch you down, trying to get you to believe the way they think or accept that this is the new normal, and nobody wants to accept it, and nobody's going to accept it, and your games are going to continue to tank. Now, the biggest games of the year have been games that have said, fuck you to this ideology, basically. Like with Wukong, Stellar Blade, Space Marines, Helldivers at one point, kind of fell off though. be good games or not. I mean, it doesn't really matter. People are just, happy to support a person that didn't want to support a person or group or company or whatever that didn't support the same bullshit that's been beaten into their head saying that they didn't make it for you. When he said, we made this game for you because we made it for us and we like this. And we're just normal people. We're normal gamers. And normal gamers like these things. And that's what we wanted. That's what we wanted to make. Pal World was another one. Pal World was like, we just want to make a, fun Pokemon game, 3D, Pokemon-like game, which, how Pokemon's suing them for throwing objects. Patent. Can the MLB sue Pokemon? And can MLB sue Pokemon for that patent? Pretty sure we've been throwing things for a long fucking time before Pokemon came around, Can we do that? Dodgeball Association, can they sue Pokemon Company? Is that a thing? Seriously. That's their patent, throwing things. Whatever, it's the dumbest, I don't know, man. We'll find out. Japan and Pokemon, it's super weird. Pal World was fun. I haven't touched it in a long time. A lot of people, it kind of came and went. There's still some stuff going on about it, but it's whatever. I got my money's worth. I had fun. So, anyway, yeah, man, these people, they seem hyped for the products for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? And they're currently going through one right now with this new Dragon Age game, Veilguard. I wasn't going to buy Dragon Age anyway. I've never played any of the other Dragon Age games. I watched the dude play one once, and whatever. I don't know, man. Fantasy stuff like that doesn't tickle me very much anymore. I don't know. It's got to really sell me, and that one didn't. And Veilguard, they're promoting the character creator. And its inclusivity options when it doesn't have any. Let's be honest. Saints Row had more inclusivity options than what Veilguard did. Pretty funny to me. Just, these people, yeah, you can be a they, them, non-binary or whatever, and you can have top surgery scars, or if you're a woman, you can become a man through surgery. Pretty sure that's how they operated on shit in the magical Middle Ages. Not with magic or anything. But you can't have anything bigger than a B cup. Sizes are 20, 20, 20. Straight as a ball. I don't know, man. It seems real dumb. And that's what they're toting. The hair physics. Guys. It's a modern game. Hair physics is, it's not very good. You know what I mean? It's current gen stuff. I haven't shown any combat. Not really. Just seems. I haven't seen any combat because I'm not looking into it either. But most of the shit is just this people making fun of the character creator, which is. It's such a diverse character creator. I'm like, man, I don't know. I played Elden Ring, and you could adjust the size of your cheekbones, and you could really dial in a lot of shit on your character there. They didn't have very big boobs. There wasn't a boob or butt slider in that game though. It wasn't that. I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't follow it. I kind of just want to make a character creator where you can just make whatever character you want. It's all the sliders, all of them. They don't do that because they can't overly sexualize women in these games, because then that is goon bait or whatever. They whatever new buzzword they're saying these days. Oh yeah, you just want to masturbate to the hot women on the game. Blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. Don't act like you didn't fucking rub into Tumblr fanfic or whatever the fuck literally last week. You know what I mean? Like, your holier than thou bullshit on that is so dumb. It's so freaking dumb. Like, you are just you're just the pillar of purity on the internet. Get fucked. Get all the way fucked, man. Well, I got a phone call coming in. Yeah, but it's good enough. Sun's up.